Yeah, so before we start, I know somebody, please share. Oh, someone has, Fen is here. Fen, this is what I use. Dr. Teal's. Aluminium-free deodorant, magnesium plus eucalyptus and essential salts. It's very good, very good. It doesn't have all those harmful products that people put on their armpits. Yeah. Yep. It's Dr. Teal's. That's what I use for my roll-on. So I really have to check really well what gets into contact with my skin. Okay. And of course, I'll be drinking my kombucha. I drank half of it yesterday and I'm drinking half of it today. Kombucha. Today I'm drinking the ginger ale. Yeah, so I drank like half of it yesterday. So this is also what I use for drink. I'm from Ethiopia watching you out of Holland. Nice. Right? I'm very careful with the smells, with all those. Yeah, so I do a lot of Dr. Teal, you know, the Epsom salt, I soak myself in it, and I like Dr. Teal, and I also like Burt's Bees for my lips and all that. My neck piece is great. Nice. I had this for my graduation party last year, and I don't even wear it that often. So I remembered, why don't I rock this today on my live? Yeah, so guys, welcome to my live. My name is I am Candid Diana, right? And now I've always said why I call myself Candid. I like being candid. It's very important to be candid because you don't carry things with you. You say it there and then, and that's it. You're done, right? But my actual name is Diana Awor. I am a native of Kenya, but I'm a permanent resident of the US. I'm a mom to 3 beautiful girls. You've seen some of them. Some of them are naughty. Some of them are quiet. I'm a wife. I'm a military spouse. And I'm a daughter. I love my mother so much. And I'm a sibling to my siblings. Right? I'm a sister to my siblings. And I'm also a teacher. I'm a higher education professional. And I love teaching. I have a doctorate in higher education leadership. And so because of my love for teaching, I use my life experiences to impart knowledge on people. And the latest experience which will live with me for the rest of my life is cancer. Okay, cancer was an experience, and cancer has, turned me into this ambassador of, creating awareness around cancer and everything on that line. Okay, so today I came across something, and then after coming across that thing, I was speaking on phone with a lady who God connected me with. She's in Oklahoma, and her mom had a brain tumor 6 years ago, and her mom was told that she only had 6 months to live, and her mom is still alive. Okay, so that was something to really, encourage me today, and even as I fellowship with this woman. And her mom also goes about, teaching people, and this lady also goes about, speaking about, but it made me relate to what I read the other day, where there's a renowned person in Kenya who talked about, who was saying, do not say what God is doing in your life until it is time to share about it. Because you may share what God is doing in your life, and your enemy or the enemy can use the information you have shared to destroy a good story that was forming from it. Okay, and I was looking through the comments, and I realized that people were actually misunderstanding this man's message. People were misunderstanding this man's message, because what is God doing as a linguistics major is something ongoing. It's in the process. It is a continuous tense. What God is doing in your life. Okay? That is a continuous tense. When you come to the past tense of doing, do, it is done. Done. So when this man was talking about do not be quick to share what God is doing in your life before he tells you that it is time to share, he was actually right. You know, talking to people like me who just, talk all the time. But people were interpreting it as testimonies. Right? Because God does not limit testimonies. And testimony is not about what God is doing. Testimony is past tense, what God has done. And it is actually, I believe, it is not sinful. It is not sinful to not share testimony. But I feel it is just, I would feel guilty if I don't share testimony as a Christian. Because the Bible says that we will defeat the devil. That is one thing that God has said clearly in the Bible. We will defeat the devil through the power of our testimonies. All right. So if someone advises, and wise people, a lot of wise people have said, and I also believe in that, when something is happening, when there's a process in your life that is happening, do not be quick to share. Because some people live in societies of witchcraft and, competition and people not wanting you to succeed and things like that. So if you are quick to share about the process that is happening, about what God is actually doing, then somebody may come to attack you and make sure that the end product is not achieved. All right? However, when the end product has been achieved, when God has already worked in your life and the result is out, you are, as a Christian, supposed to share that testimony. You are supposed to share that testimony. Guess what? Because if you don't share that testimony, somebody may actually either lose their lives. For instance, in cases of illnesses and sicknesses, signs and symptoms of disease and things like that. Or, an accident, a vehicle, something. If you don't share and somebody goes through that similar journey, then, and you see them going through, you can see them. Then if they lose their lives or something happens to them, in a way, I think guilt may engulf you. Guilt may engulf you. And then there's something about those comments that I was reading. And I found people saying, when I found people saying, no, that's why I'm not quick. I will never open my mouth to say any testimony. I can never say what God has done in my life. Because some people are jealous. I'm like, really? Really, guys? Know that you defeat the devil through the power of your testimony. And here I'm talking to Christians, believers. There are people who really don't believe in God. They know the scripture is a storybook. So those are not the people I'm addressing here. Today I just came to fellowship. Book of Revelations chapter 12, verses 11. Revelations 12, verses 11. It says, and they have conquered him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. For they loved not their lives even unto death. The power of testimony. The power of testimony. Let me give you other verses. I so believe in testimony. Acts chapter 4 verse 33. And with great power the apostles were giving their testimony to the resurrection of the Lord, and great grace was upon them all. Luke chapter 8 verses 39. Return to your home and declare how much God has done for you. Return to your home and declare what the Lord has done for you. When I was reading people saying, I cannot say my testimony because some people are jealous. They can harm me because of what I say. It's not upon you. What they're planning for you is not upon you. It is upon the person who took you out of that and gave you that testimony to protect you. Okay? You may not talk about the journey to that because somebody may interfere with that journey in between. But still, I believe even through that journey, God is there to cover you. However, testimony, the Lord literally so many times in the Bible talks about go, go, go. Go and share what the Lord has done. The woman at the well, when that woman encountered Christ, she ran. She ran to talk about that person that knew her more than any other person in this world. She ran to say. Now we get to the point where when you talk, when you testify, some people see it as pride. Now that's another problem. That's a problem that causes people not to talk. You know, it causes people not to say what the Lord has done for them because they'd rather not honor God, but fear man. They'd rather not honor God, but fear man. Because man will talk. Man will talk. Oh, so you're talking that you're full of pride. Must you keep telling people? Yes. You must keep sharing your testimony. Testimonies are not meant to be said just once and that's it. No. Testimonies have no expiration dates. Testimonies don't expire. You will say it to this group tomorrow, you'll say it to another person tomorrow, you'll meet another person and you will say it. When you have a testimony, it boils in you. And so, when somebody feels that if I, for instance, is talking about my testimony and sharing my testimony, and somebody feels that it is pride, that's why I keep talking about it. The problem is not me with the supposed pride. The problem is that person with the jealousy part of it. Because they're not ready to wait for their turn. Because God is a great God. He visits everybody. God is a great God who visits everybody. So if somebody will talk about you having too much pride, that is why you keep sharing your testimony with people, there's a problem with them. There's a problem with them. I have had people who come on my posts. Or sometimes I'm live. And they will keep questioning, oh, enough. You keep talking about this cancer. You already finished treatment. It's enough. And those are the type of people. You know what? The day I stop speaking, the day I stop sharing what good God has done in my life, because when I share what God has done in my life, I will talk of the journey. I will talk about the treatment. I will talk about certain symptoms. I will talk about the visions that God gave. I will talk about all that. And there could be somebody that God wanted to hear that. And when I choose to hold on to that story, that person will not hear that. And do you know what? The devil shall have won. Because maybe that person could hear and it could change their lives or it could save their lives. But because I was afraid, because people keep saying, oh, enough of this story, enough of this story. So I decided, you know what? Enough of this story for real. Enough. I will no longer share again. And then, so guys, I just saw those comments there and I said, you know what? Let me come and remind people that a testimony is not the process. It's not the process of when God was doing that. A testimony is the end result. God has done it. God has done it. So go on the mountain and shout. Go on the mountaintop and shout of the goodness of God in the land of the living. Because our God is a God that loves to be glorified. And so if you refuse to glorify him, man, and he is a God that has created you so good and provided for you, he deserves all glory and he deserves all honor. I'm telling you the truth. Our God deserves all glory and all honor. From test to testimony. Test to testimony. And as you're thinking of that test to testimony, you're thinking of that test was painful. Then from that pain, what was your purpose? Your purpose is built in your testimony. Your purpose is built in your testimony. And that's why I say with all confidence that for me, cancer brought to my life my purpose. I was purposeless before. And I keep saying, I could wake up and say, oh, what am I doing today? Or what do I want to become? I wanted to become everything. I could do everything. Everything. But after cancer visited and it was treated and it was gone, I sat down and I was meditating and things that had happened in my life. And then I was like, voila! This was my purpose. In this was my purpose. I am no longer confused. Have you ever been, are you that person? Because I know there are people like me when I was before. You're going through school, you're in class, you're doing things, but sometimes you're even asking yourself, is this really what I love? Is this really what I want to do? Is this what I want to do? Is this what I want? I feel like the way I'm created, I just want to participate in changing someone's life, in helping someone out. But I am doing this and I keep doing this. You know, of course, I'm in higher education. I did career counseling. You know, you do career counseling to the point at which you're tired. You're like, Miss Cara. You have students coming in, you're showing them the tricks around, you know, looking for a job and doing career assessment tests, you know, all the Strong and the Campbell things, and you get tired. You're like asking, isn't this common sense? Then I'm asking myself, even myself, sometimes I apply for jobs and I don't get it. How can I be telling somebody how to apply for jobs? To hell. I don't even want to be a career counselor anymore. So I was tired of it. I was tired of it. I tried everything. But the moment this happened to me, there is no day. Even today I'm late because, guys, you know what happened? There was a threat. There was a threat to the schools here in Houston. I don't know who is in Houston if you received an email. But we received an email that was sent out that there was a threat for a terrorism attack at the elementary schools here. So I had to run to school. Better I pick my children than I regret. Better I go and pick my kids. And it was just 2 hours. I think 2 hours after I dropped them at school. Then I read the email. Oh, I have to go back and get them out of school so that if a terrorist goes, I have them at home. That's why I'm late. So I went to pick the kids and I brought them home. They're here with me. And when we are arriving home, I receive another email from school saying, the FBI have established that the terrorism threat was a hoax. Oh my gosh. So I turn around and I look at my kids. I'm like, oh, that was a hoax. Can I take you guys back to school? No, we don't want to go back to school. So they're here with me. That's crazy. You know, you see that email, you think of all the, you know, the shootings in schools and all those things. You're like, I'd rather just go pick those kids. Today is Friday. Let them stay home with me. If there's any attack, you'll watch it on TV. You say, I took mine. You know, and being in Texas, where I know, right here in Texas, shooting has happened before. So it's not new, you know. So when this happened to me, when this testimony happened to me, I found my purpose. every day when I am supposed to come live, I don't even get tired. I am looking forward to it. You know, when the time for sending money home for my patients to eat, when that time gets there, even when I don't have, I'd rather get into my car, or I take an order. Sometimes even this morning, yesterday I refused to take an order for today because somebody called me and they wanted me to cook for them chapati for today. And I said, that is short notice. Yeah, it was short notice. So, of course, I did not get that money. Yes, Nina. You know, I refuse that money. But when I know that my patient, the time is coming for me to buy food for my patient in Kenya, I just even want someone, if someone calls me and tells me, can you cook for me chapati now? I will say, yes. How many? 50? Okay, I will cook, because I know it is time to send money to Kenya. So when it is in line with my purpose, which I found after cancer, I will do it with a lot of happiness in my heart. You will find me playing music and rolling my chapati and cooking them, and my client will come and I will be smiling with them because I am in my purpose. Are you in your purpose?